Good morning. Today with us we have Engineer Nsiimire Annet. Could you please introduce us to who Engineer Nsiimire is?
Engineer Nsiimire is a telecom electrical engineer, but who is also an independent consultant, project management, business and innovation support services. Currently, I serve at Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers in different capacities as a career guidance program, technical lead, and also I'm on research, innovation and grants committee. I'm also a member of executive of Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers, Kampala branch, and I'm also a member of Federation of African Engineering Organizations Energy Working Group.
Thank you. So could you please briefly describe to us your educational background?
Okay, I have a multidisciplinary academic background. I have a master's in project planning and management, postgraduate diploma in project planning and management, a bachelor's in telecommunications engineering, and 2 diplomas in electrical engineering.
That's amazing. Wow. So just to sidetrack you a bit, so how did you manage to handle all this? Because that's a lot of qualifications. Diploma, bachelor's degree. How are you able to handle it? Like, just summarize maybe a little bit.
You see, it's about continuous learning. Sometimes when you are in the field or when you have a focus and you know what you want, in today's world where there are rapid changes, you can't still be the same. Technology is rapidly changing, and therefore learning also. As an engineer, you must prepare for lifelong learning. So as I did my work, I was also prepared to keep learning and adding value to myself, to make myself to remain relevant.
So move on to you as a young person. What motivated you to pursue a career in electrical engineering specifically? And you could also add in a few significant experiences or influences that you had along the way.
Okay. What motivated me to become an electrical engineer partly was the title engineer. Because when I was younger, growing up, I used to see people who used to move on UEB trucks, Uganda Electricity Board trucks. Everyone was called an engineer. And what I saw was they were being taken with high regard in the society just because they were problem solvers. So they desired to solve problems and also have that title, because it was not about only the title, but it was about the role they were playing in the community, solving people's needs. So I really wanted to be that person who can solve problems and create an impact in the community. But also, from primary, I was good in math. And even my teachers would tell me, Annette, you'll be an engineer. And so that also became a motivator in my life, because I had the potential to do the math, which means I had the potential to become an engineer. But also when I saw how those guys were creating a difference and making people happy, I felt I should also be that person who can make the world a better place.
We're going to move on to when you actually sat in this engineering class. When you started studying engineering, was it up to your expectations, or were there a few disappointments along the way? How was it for you?
There were a few disappointments, but not really so much, because I was self-motivated, and what I was doing inspired me, because I have a goal to achieve. Therefore, I had to find a way of dealing with them. But the biggest challenge was in engineering drawing. Our days of drawing, it was really hectic, because these softwares, you see, I think people are doing engineering today, the technology they are using is different. Engineering drawing was my biggest challenge, I can say, and it kept me on my toes. But the fact that I had a goal to achieve, I had to persevere And I was, of course, I motivated myself every day to be better and to pass drawing. And actually, at some point, I would think that if I don't pass drawing, I'm not even ready to do any take in it, because I did my best, but still, I don't think I performed it very well. But I had to make sure I pass it to avoid a retake and also to get my goal.
So you've already shared a few details about the current positions you hold. However, I would like to dig deeper into your professional journey as an electrical engineer. Just, you could highlight again the positions you currently hold and your responsibilities in these roles.
The positions I currently hold and the positions I've held before. As an engineer, I started from college. So as a technician, I worked as an installation inspector at the district during EDCL days. Then I went to Umeme. I also worked there as a technician. Then I became an engineer until when I left Umeme last year. But now, as a career guidance technical lead at UIPE, mostly we are looking at how do we interest the young people to join engineering-related field, especially the girls and the minority groups. Because you can see girls are not very many in the engineering field. So, like I can say during my days, college days, I was the only girl in the electrical and mechanical class doing a diploma. And you can imagine a class of about 40, you are the only female. And even up to date, the numbers are still very low. So we are looking to see how do we interest the young people. We come up with projects and content that can really motivate the young people to join engineering related. Then also, the positions, another thing I'm doing today is I'm actually training engineers in humanitarian skills for engineers. I train in partnership with CEDAT, that's College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology at Macquarie University, Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers, and Red Ally UK. So I'm a trainer also in humanitarian engineering skills, and I've also done actually, I've just completed my first humanitarian project, which I was doing. Probably, if time allows, I'll give you details. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on to, is there any particular project or accomplishment that you're particularly very proud of as an electrical engineer so far? Something that you've done that even has blown your mind away?
Yes. The achievements are many, the accomplishments are many. But as I said from the start, having the prefix engineer to my name in itself is an achievement, and it brings satisfaction to my heart. That was one. But also, like I said, as a humanitarian engineer, the project I've just concluded in the Rwamanja refugee settlement, it was really fulfilling. It gave me a chance to demonstrate my humanitarian skills and also an opportunity to do something that really creates an impact and solve the problems for the local people. So it's one project that I've just concluded, and I'm really proud of it, because I believe the people who will use the product and the interactions we had, the engagements with the community, can make an impact to the society, to the community.
Okay, so in your opinion, are there any essential skills and qualities that an electrical engineer should possess to excel in this field? Something that you see maybe you've employed it and it has worked, and maybe something you've seen in other electrical engineers?
Yes, or what I can say, in today's world, people need to prepare for lifelong learning. But before you prepare for lifelong learning, as an engineer, when you are doing engineering, first of all, you acquire technical skills. So be proficient in your technical skills, your math, your science, because everything is really science. And when we are talking of solving problems as engineers, it's a combination of art and science, but mostly it's science, because all these things, all these technological things we see changing, they are best to help the communities do better, to improve our well-being, but they are also based on science. So you must know the science, the math, the technical skills, the computer skills, because it's the technology, the computers will help you to do your work better, to be a better engineer. So those technical skills, you need them, but also you need non-technical skills: decision-making, problem-solving, critical thinking. You must be a critical thinker and analytical thinker. So as an engineer, you must be prepared to solve problems. And when we are talking of solving problems, you must be analytical. How do you solve a problem? First of all, be a good listener, communicator. Listen, understand people's challenges, and learn how to work with people to be able to understand their challenges and to be able to come up with designs and solutions that really solve their problem, that they are in their preference. Yeah, but also you need to understand issues of globalization and diversity, different cultures, different backgrounds, working together with people from different backgrounds.
Okay, so as you've said rightly, that currently there's a lot of technology that's coming in, there are a lot of changes. Okay, so what role do you believe that electrical engineers play in shaping the future of innovation as well as technology?
Yeah, engineers, if I can say specifically electrical engineering, it has done a lot and has shaped the future of technology. Like I said, when we started, when we were doing engineering, we used to use this tech of a drawing board and a T-square, but today there are so many softwares that can enable you to be able to do what you want using less time. Don't have to draw the whole day. Don't used to take a lot of time, but now you just go on the computer, use the software, and you're done. We've seen so many innovations, like the recent launch of the satellite in Uganda. That was electrical, I can say. Electrical is making a lot of changes. We've seen e-working, like when Corona came, people were forced to work from home. Who knew that would be possible? So you can see a lot of things are happening. E-banking, everything has become electronic, which is part of electrical engineering as a field.
So are there any areas of specialization or particular interests that you have within this field, the field of electrical engineering? And have you pursued any of those interests? I actually had you talk about humanitarian engineering. I don't know whether that's still under electrical, so could you please talk about that?
Okay, the areas of fields of electrical has many fields, but what interested me most, because as I said, I did diploma. I have 2 diplomas in electrical, so I felt like telecom was more interesting, because telecom is really, really dynamic, and so it took my attention, and I felt it is a field I wanted to do, and that's why I ended doing up a bachelor's in telecom after doing electrical, but I ended up specializing in telecom, because when you look at all these, most of these revolutions in the technology industry, they are telecom related. We are seeing a lot of cars with sensors, with artificial intelligence. So there is a lot that keeps inspiring you. If you like learning, it's very interesting because it is so dynamic. But when you talk of humanitarian skills actually is, we are trying to inspire and train all engineers in different disciplines, civil, electrical, mechanical, to be involved in humanitarian work. As you can see today, the world is faced with so many disasters and challenges, climate change, global warming, so many floods. So you find in most cases the engineers are required to be part of the rescue teams. But you find there are not very many engineers in that, and you find mostly there are people in different fields who are involved. Yet, when like a flood happens, you find, look for example what is happening in Ruera. The bridge gave way. It's only the engineers that can put back that bridge. Yes? And then, why it comes in as a we are saying humanitarian, mostly these are projects that affect the well-being of people. So that's why we say humanitarian. Like, for example, the project I was doing, it was about promotion of energy efficiency. As we talk today, we are faced with, I can say, scarcity of energy fuels. And I was working in a refugee settlement, because when refugees come in most cases, World Food gives them food, but sometimes they don't give them fire to cook their food. So people struggle, people have to, you are new in the area, you have to go out looking for firewood, and yet you don't know anyone, and so many challenges happen. My project basically was looking at 3 objectives. One, we were doing corrective maintenance on a solar-powered energy stove. It's an energy-efficient stove which uses logs for cooking. But also we wanted to create awareness in the community on the alternative solutions or energy-efficient system they could use, which use less fuel and maybe alternative to the traditional technologies we have used. And also we wanted also to have some training on operation and maintenance of the system, to facilitate some knowledge transfer and have capacity within the community to be able to maintain such a systems like solar powered, like the one which is at the reception center. So you can see that's a project that directly touches people and improve the welfare of human beings. So that's what humanitarian projects are about.
Oh, wow, that's actually really inspiring, because most people would think that when it comes to humanitarian work, you just need maybe public health specialists or doctors, but it's actually news to me that even engineers can actually take part in this humanitarian work. Okay, so aside from engineering,
I want to take you back.
Okay,
I want to tell you there is a lot engineers can do in humanitarian work. You just imagine, for example, there is a flood and people's homes have washed away. Who puts back the shelters? It's the engineers. Who puts back the bridges? Who reconnects the electricity and the telecommunication systems? It's the engineers. So they have a lot they can do, only that we have not done enough in our country, like to say, to take it to the engineer that they can really play an essential part. It's the engineers who do a lot of that, but we had not taken it up, and I think as we are training, we have trained many engineers, over 100, and we are continuing to train more engineers so that they get interest and the skills to be able to be part of the humanitarian work.
Okay, so aside from engineering, maybe briefly you could tell us what else does Engineer Nsiimire do?
What I can say is I'm a strong believer in God, and I'm a family-oriented person. On a day when I'm not doing engineering work, I prefer spending time with my family, and also getting involved in God's work, in projects that build the kingdom of God, sharing experiences with people and encouraging people on how to push on with life.
Thank you so much. This concludes our interview. Maybe if you have any last remarks for whoever is watching you.
Yeah, whoever is watching me, what I can say is we need to inspire the young people to do engineering, because where we are today, the world is engineering driven. So let's inspire more people, let's be innovative, And also, let's prepare for lifelong learning. Technology keeps changing. Don't be left behind as an engineer. Prepare for lifelong learning. Get as much information as you can, because information will help you to solve your needs, because it's through information. Information is power. When you have the information, you are able to know what you need and how to get it and how to use it. And most of these things these days, let's be also computer literate, because everything has become computerized, that if you are not computer literate, technology will leave you behind. So I can say, let's continue learning. Learning is very good, and continue to be focused on our goals.
Thank you very much, Engineer Nsiimire. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Same to you.